Hello, my name is Simone, and I would like to talk to you today about autism. I have been aware that I am on the autistic spectrum for probably about 20, 25 years now. Um, and initially, it was really difficult because as soon as I found out, I thought that meant I was stupid because at the time I didn't have a lot of education about autism. I just knew that the people I had seen that were labeled autistic were often low functioning in the sense that they didn't speak, they may not make any eye contact, they might be totally involved in their own world. And I'm ashamed to say that because I was an educator or am an educator. And there wasn't a whole lot of information at the time when I was doing my degree about the spectrum of autism and what that looked like. So it never occurred to me that I myself might be autistic. But the more I worked with kids and the more I did research, because I constantly am doing research as an educator, I don't think you ever stop learning. Every day is a school day. And I realized that a lot of these things that I was dealing with on every day was something that I was dealing with every day. I had just become a really great actress. And that's a bit emotional for me because I've been hiding really, really well for many years. And it served me well. I'm a performer, I'm a singer, dancer, so all of these things melded into my professions. And so the reason I'm making this video is because I recently saw somebody going on about, women masking, autistic women masking, and they made it look like or sound like, I don't know, that we were somehow the devil incarnate or something. I don't know. I found it really offensive, if I'm perfectly honest with you. I actually look at what I'm able to do, the so-called masking, as an ability, a capacity. And it has been honed over many years, partly out of survival, but partly just to fit in. Because when you're growing up, I'm sure many of you have been told, tell the truth, be honest, blah, 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 blah. And there are many, many social situations where honesty is not what is required. Does this make me look fat? At one time I may have said, yes, it does make you look a little bit dumpy, which is not what people want to hear. So I remember my earliest memory of this is when I was a little kid, no more than 4 or 5, and I got a hat for my birthday. Somebody gave me a hat. Now, at the time, my sensory thing, which is something that autistic people face. They are very sensitive to sound, touch, sight. All of their senses are big. And so the idea of wearing something on my head, it freaked me out as a little kid. I just couldn't deal with it. And so the idea that somebody gave me a hat was a dreadful thing in my universe. And so I remember taking it out of the box and going, I hate this. And I threw it across the room. Not what I was supposed to. And I got in so much trouble for it. And I was made feel so guilty for doing this. I didn't realize what this would create for someone else, that they would be hurt, that it wasn't a good thing. Excuse me. So that was one of my earliest memories of you can't be honest all the time. You need to negotiate social situations. You need to be aware of what people's faces are doing and what their head is doing, because they might be two very different things. So I've managed that, and I don't regret having to learn how to do that. I think it's been a great skill. The issue, I think, lies when you start to believe the mask and you believe that you're okay when you're not okay. And it could be that you are okay. I know that sounds confusing, but constantly being touching in with yourself and being aware of where you are. How do I personally do that? I find that if I go out into nature, if I spend time with my horse, if I garden, I notice there's a theme here, nature, and if I'm by myself, because the other thing that I'm extremely aware of is that as an autistic person, and I see this with students of mine, with friends of mine, we are so aware of everybody else and what is going on for everybody else. It is sometimes really difficult for us to get a sense of who we are and our senses. And it's just it's an overwhelm of our senses, and that's part of it. It doesn't happen with everybody, but there's a lot of people out there that are really loud with their emotions and with what's going on with them. And I constantly have to check in and go, okay, am I just really aware of what's going on outside of me? Or is this actually something that's going on inside of me? And so I find nature really helps. Being alone by myself really helps. Some people, I'm trying to remember the phrase, I think it's called stemming. I can't remember, when you see people who have autism, there's often a rocking or a repetitive movement. I know a friend of mine used to count everything. And so things like that also can be helpful. A repetitive kind of motion. For me, playing the piano, that sense of moving my fingers, or cross stitch or crocheting, not crocheting, I take that back, knitting, can be sewing, more so for me. Finding those things that allow you to have a sense of peace and have a sense of yourself is good. and know that the mask isn't a problem as long as you know that you're using it, and that you know that it's just a tool to help you navigate society, and just remember who you are, and find things that allow you to do that. So yeah, I just had to make this video for those people out there like myself who maybe are very good at this particular skill, and just needed to hear that, hey, just remember who you are and you'll be fine. Find things that help you do that. And thanks for watching. And I'll talk to you soon if I have another epiphany that I have to share with you.